Welcome back to the Press Start podcast. Today is the 2nd of July, 2015. So, we're going to be covering basically from June 25th to today, July 2nd, news. I know I was pretty late with the podcast last week. Like, I think I got it up like either like late Sunday or it might have been even Monday. But just things happened. I didn't have time to really edit it until I think it was Sunday. So yeah, so I apologize about that. I'm gonna try to get this up. Probably not tomorrow because I don't feel like editing it tonight. But Saturday most likely. So these episodes are usually not to like they usually happen like a few days after I record them. So we're kind of late, but I make sure I kind of touch on what I missed at the very least. But this week we had a little bit more news. Still not too much. It's summer, so I don't really expect there to be too much big stuff, especially only a few weeks after E3. But it'll ramp up eventually. So let's get to the news. So we're gonna start out with how Fire Emblem Awakening was supposed to be the last Fire Emblem game. And the only reason it was in an interview with Iwata, the president of Nintendo, he said that it was going to be the last game, but because the game sold so well, they decided to continue on with the series, and I think a lot of people are happy about that. It's kind of funny because I really doubt it was the end of the series, but it was probably like the end for a while, but it sold well. And now we have Fire Emblem Fates just like a few years after Awakening, and the series is now more popular than ever, I would say. So it's kind of interesting how one success can lead to a series not dying. It's pretty big to have a game so well. So yeah, so that's good. I have not played Awakening. I really want to. I just I've not gotten around to it. Maybe I'll pick it up sometime, because I'm sure I would like it. It seems like my type of game, and I'm playing a whole bunch of RPGs this year, so it seems like a good time to play it. So I kind of have like a few stories I'm gonna focus on, but there's also kind of minor stories I want to touch on, but there's not really much to talk about. So yeah, I'm gonna see how much I'm gonna edit of the news, because last week I didn't do any editing from the news part because I just really touched on a whole bunch of small stuff. But I don't know, I might do some editing, but we'll see. But next up, Visceral's Star Wars game, which I was hoping to show up at E3, but it did not, is in the style of Uncharted and the canceled Star Wars 1313 game. So it's gonna be an action adventure game, basically Uncharted Star Wars, which sounds pretty awesome to me. And Visceral, I mean, they've done Dead Space, so they know how to make a good action adventure game. Because that's kind of an action adventure game, but it's, even though it's really a horror game, it's still got action adventure parts to it. So they know how to make games like that. I'm really excited to see what their game is, and they've been dropping a lot of hints lately about it. So maybe they're gonna reveal it at Gamescom or something like that. That'd be really cool. yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Battlefront, but Visceral's game is like the one I'm most looking forward to because it's actually like a story-driven Star Wars game, and it's gonna be like Uncharted. So that sounds amazing. So that's cool. That's pretty cool. Mafia 3 had or Take-Two, the owner of the property, registered a few Mafia 3 domains, which I think the last Mafia game was like 2011, so it's been a while. I mean, I know it's most games have been received fairly well. They're not like considered, you know, very good games, but they're considered okay to good. Yeah, so Mafia 3 might happen soon. I think I played the demo of one of the Mafia games. I think it was a gangster game. I know that. It's in the 1950s. It was a demo, and it was the first game where I saw naked boobs. So, because they had like Playboy magazines from the 1950s, and there's boobs in there. So, I remember that. So, this is a demo, you know. We probably shouldn't have had that in a demo, but whatever. I don't remember which. I'm pretty sure it was a Mafia game. Because I know there's one other series that's like a 50s gangster game, but I don't remember what it's called. Maybe it wasn't a demo. Maybe I rented it. Because I remember playing a lot more of the game than just like a half an hour. I don't know. I remember playing something of the Mafia. I never got into it, but yeah. Mojang is going to cancel, I guess if that's the right word. It's gonna wrap up Scrolls, their card game, by the end of next July, which just seems like a really long period to be like, yeah, we're gonna end it soon. I mean, do you really need to announce it like a year away? But yeah, Mojang, whatever you'd like to pronounce it, is the Minecraft developer, and Scrolls was kind of like one of our next projects, and I think it was pretty hyped up, but it never lived up to the potential of like something like Hearthstone. So yeah, it's being shut down, which I don't know how many people are really playing that game all the time, so I'm guessing it's not too big of a deal. Yeah, just it's closing. It's gonna suck. I guess hopefully nobody loses their job. They probably will, but hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully they find a new place. They still have a year left to find a job. So next up, we have one of the more bigger stories of the week, and in an interview with, trying to figure out who he talked to. It doesn't say. In an interview, Nolan North, who's the voice of Nathan Drake in Uncharted, he's the voice of hundreds of characters. Like he and Troy Baker are the top 2 voice actors. And Nolan North is pretty. He knows, he's like pretty involved with Naughty Dog for the most part, because he is the voice of Nathan Drake. He's been in a lot of Naughty Dog's recent games. He was in The Last of Us. He played a smaller part, but he was still in it. But in an interview, he kind of let this statement slip. He's like, I know they're doing The Last of Us 2. So I don't know if you can completely trust him, because he's apparently not involved with it, because his character did die in The Last of Us. So he says he knows they're doing The Last of Us 2. So I mean he's he's fairly involved with Naughty Dog, so he's you can't outright like dismiss what he says, and you can actually probably like say you. How am I gonna phrase it? You can try you can. His words do have some weight to them. It's not like if I said, "Yeah, we're making The Last of Us 2. Trust me." He's sort of involved with the company. But you can't 100% accept what he's saying. But if they are if they are making The Last of Us 2, which I think a lot of people don't want it because they feel like the way Uncharted or not Uncharted, The Last of Us ended was perfect, and having a sequel would kind of ruin it. That game sold really well, and Sony's like, you're gonna make another one because it sold well, and they can't really go against that. But I don't know if it's the best idea. Like I personally would just like I don't want a Last of Us 2. Because like I said, I feel like they ended on a perfect way. Maybe I would be interested in like a never entry that takes place in that world, but I don't want to see anything with Joel or Elliot, or not Elliot, Ellie. What the hell is Elliot? Joel or Ellie. I don't want to see them at all. So yeah, I mean a lot of people were upset because they don't want a Last of Us 2, and some people were happy because they do. But I'm sure that game's a 2018 game probably, so that's a long ways away. 3 years. So Uncharted 4 is coming out next spring. So yeah, that Last of Us 2 is coming, man. Even though a lot of us don't want it to come. Any smaller stories? Shovel Knight is given a physical retail release in October. It's amazing how some of these smaller games are getting retail releases. Shovel Knight's a great game. I played it back when it first released on PC and 3DS and Wii U, and it was one of my favorite games of 2013. Or was it last year? No, was it last year? It was either last year or 2013. I think it might have been last year. But yeah, it was absolutely. I love that game. That game's fantastic. It's a great throwback. And if you don't like buying stuff digitally, and you have something against digital games for some reason, now you can buy this game in a physical copy, and you definitely should. It's worth it. I'm sure it's gonna be like $20 or something like that. Yeah, it's definitely worth buying for that much. It's a great game. So next up. Oh, I guess I forgot to click that one. Nintendo is aware that people are not happy about Metroid Prime Federation Force. Because people want a new Metroid game, whether it be a new 3D one or 2D. But when this was announced at E3, people weren't too happy because it's not really a Metroid game in their opinion. So Nintendo is aware that people are not happy, but they're like, please give it a try. Please just give it a try. Don't get angry with us. So yeah, they are aware. Some people have wanted. There's a petition going out where they want to cancel Nintendo to cancel the game. And that's just dumb. First of all, don't do that. Like, people have already put a whole bunch of hard work into that thing. So just to have it shut down just because you don't like what you saw in the 30-second clip, it's not really a nice thing to do. So, I mean, that game didn't, like, I thought it looked dumb, but, I know, I just said it's not a nice thing to do when I say something not nice, but I'm not excited, I don't really care for that, but I hope it turns out well. I mean, hopefully people give it a chance, but I guess Nintendo is paying attention to what people are saying about their games. It's just a matter of whether or not Nintendo listens, or if they do listen, but reacts and does stuff to make it better. Dark Souls franchise has sold over 8.5 million copies. It seems like it should be way more than that, but maybe I'm just, because I think Watch Dogs, when that came out, I think that sold like 12 million copies, which just amazes me. Because like the Dark Souls games are better than Watch Dogs, but and the whole series has sold less than Watch Dogs. It's ridiculous. So I guess that's good. Does not include Demon Souls or Bloodborne. And I'm sure that'd go over. I'd probably push it over to like 14 million or something. No. Yeah, maybe. Probably like 12 million total. And then we got Dark Souls 3 coming out next year. And that might be the end of the series. There's been things that have gone against it. Some have said that's the end, while others say it might not be the end, so we'll see. So yeah, that's good. Dark Souls is awesome. Alright, so this is the next big story. But Warner Brothers was, so this is the kind of the Batman Arkham Knight PC debacle, where the PC port's completely broken and there's a crap ton of stuff wrong with it, and they don't really, I don't even think they're selling it right now. But Warner Brothers was aware of the issues with the game before they shipped it, and I think it said months before they shipped it. So yeah, that probably doesn't make a lot of people happy. I mean, if you knew the issues, just delay it, because you would have avoided yourself a whole bunch of just negativeness. Yeah. Like, I'm sure they lost a whole bunch of sales because of its delay. Like, I'm sure more than a few people are not going to purchase the game until it's on sale or something now, after they got their refund, just to spite Warner Brothers and Rocksteady. But if it had just delayed it like a month or so and fixed everything, they probably wouldn't. They would have been way better off. But they didn't do that, so just goes to show that you need to make sure your game works when you launch it nowadays, because people are kind of sick and tired of the games not working at launch, especially after last fall. I think so far this year games have launched pretty well without too many hitches. I guess maybe not, because Witcher had a whole bunch of problems. Bloodborne had the loading screen problems, so maybe not. But at least games aren't completely broken like last year. But yeah, I mean, Warner Brothers, you kind of made the wrong decision, but it's too late to do anything about it now. So Oh, good. Yeah, yawn. It's 20 minutes already? Jesus Christ. I know how to ramble. It's not worth mentioning. No, no, no. I think I might be all besides one more thing. Actually, there's two more things. So, Concept, which is Keiji Inafune's kind of like studio that he has now. They're the developers of Mighty Number 9, which is coming out in September. The Mega Man spiritual processor. No, it's a damn it, I can't say it. Successor. They just started teasing a new project that uses the words Legends a lot. And I think there's some concept art that looks very similar to stuff in... The characters look very similar to characters in Mega Man Legends. And since they used the words Legends a lot, and Mega Man Legend type characters, people are saying this is the spiritual successor to a new Mega Man Legends type game. Which would be cool, because Mega Man Legends 3 was canceled, like, I think deep into its development, and I think that's what kind of led to Keiji Inafune's departure from Capcom and all that. So having kind of like a spiritual successor, I can't say that word today for some reason, would probably make a lot of people happy. I would kind of be down with that, because I've watched like Let's Plays and stuff of those two games. I haven't personally played them, but they look like cool, just kind of like Zelda-like dungeon crawling stuff. I mean, they seem like fun games, and if we can get like a new one that's sort of like that, that'd be, you know, kind of cool to see. So that's some interesting news from today. And then lastly, there is rumors going around that Nintendo is targeting 2016 for the NX release date. Which is which, you know, in all honesty, I have a feeling that it is going to come out in 2016. Whether I think it's gonna be fall, just like any other console, but according to this story, it mentions that there's a possible launch July of 2016, which, I mean, no, there's no way that it would release in July. Like, cause I mean, Nintendo doesn't really care much about E3 anymore. I mean, of course they do care for it, but they don't even bother to show up anymore. But announcing, like, you think they would want just show off your new kind of big whatever it is console at E3, get people excited about it, letting people know about it at E3, and then release it in the fall. But if they released it just a month after that, a month after E3, that's kind of like the Sega Saturn kind of situation there. I know Nintendo has a whole bunch of their Nintendo Directs that they do. I mean, there's one basically every month. But yeah, I do believe that NX is coming out next year. I mean, nobody really knows what it's going to be like. Whether it's going to be kind of a hybrid handheld home console, or whether it's just to be a home console, whether it's just to be a handheld, if it's gonna have upgraded graphics, like just if it's gonna be like the PS4 or Xbox One. My guess is it's not gonna be like that. But yeah, just thought it was interesting because the rumors. I mean, the Wii U, just the way E3 went, the Wii U is kind of dead. Sure, Star Fox and maybe Zelda and Xenoblade Chronicles, but that's about it. And I highly doubt Zelda is gonna stay on Wii U. If it does, it'll be a Wii U and NX simultaneous release or whatever. Yeah, I think the Wii U is pretty much on it's on its last legs. And next year we'll be getting a new console, which is exciting. I mean, we went like so many years without getting a new console. Now we're just, oh, you get one every few years now. It's pretty cool. And there's also another story where, if I can find it, it mentions that, oh yeah, Nintendo's like, we won't abandon the Wii U when NX releases. Bullshit. You always say that. You said that when the Game Boy, and for the Game Boy when you released Nintendo DS, the Game Boy died. You said that for the N64 when the GameCube released. You said it for the GameCube when the Wii released, and you said it for the Wii when Wii U released. So quit lying, Nintendo. We know what you're saying, and you're lying there. But yeah, I wrap up stories for this week. So next segment, I will be talking about one of the bigger games of the year so far, one of the best games of the year so far, and that is Batman: Arkham Knight. Since this current period of time, I think I beat it. I actually beat it a while ago. I think I beat it like 4 days ago, but I got the secondary ending, and I watched the rest of the endings yesterday. So I'm just gonna be kind of talking about my opinions and thoughts in the game. So yeah, stay tuned. I won't be spoiling anything. So if you want stuff spoiled for you, go watch my Let's Play. Up to part 9. I will be, I think. I think I'll be up to part 9 by the time this gets up. 9 or 10. So check that out if you want to watch the game, but I'm just going to be talking about it briefly. So I'll see you guys in the next segment right after this little musical break.